Josh, we've just seen the press conference. Your initial thought, who do you think edged it?
I don't even know. I don't think that one even had an edge to it. I think like there's not really a real winner comes out of that. I feel JJ tried to go for the professional route and go for talking about boxing and try and kind of showcase maybe Logan doesn't know much about boxing, and Logan tried to play off of that and do the whole maths card, which I guess is a good card, but I feel like JJ could answer those questions if he wanted to. I think he wants to talk about the boxing, he wants it to be professional and doesn't want to make a mockery of the sport. So I think that's the whole thing there.
Yeah, it's a good point, that. And he didn't actually, when he asked the Muhammad Ali questions, we didn't get the answer from Logan about that. So do you think he doesn't know the answer to that, to who Muhammad Ali fought?
He might know the answers. I feel like Logan will definitely have a boxing IQ, of course. He's got Shannon Briggs teaching him. He'll understand boxing and the actual, like the ins and outs of boxing. You haven't got to know the history of boxing to understand how to box. So maybe he doesn't know the answer, but I don't think that matters that much.
Talk to us about your mate JJ as well. What differences have you noticed going into this fight compared to previous fights? Because we just spoke to him earlier. He seems so on it physically and mentally for this one. Not to say he wasn't in previously, but it seems like this is a completely different preparation.
I think it's just his confidence. I think even in the last Logan fight, I feel like he had confidence, but whether or not we believed him as much, I'm not sure. But this time around, he like oozes confidence. He really believes in his ability. I guess on the night, it just depends on how good Logan is in comparison to where JJ is right now. Because obviously you can be really confident, but if Logan's better than you, you're not going to win. But the good thing is at least he has self-belief, and that's what matters really. As long as he knows that he goes out in that ring on Saturday night and delivers his all, and the best he can do, that's what matters.
And just quickly, no head guards, 10-ounce gloves. Eddie Hearn, we've spoken to him before, he is adamant there's going to be a knockout because that is a huge difference in terms of how the fight is going to play out. Do you see that being a big difference?
Yeah, 100%. You can always firm blows when you've got a head guard on and you've got 6-ounce gloves. But when you've got 10-ounce gloves, obviously that speed and just the fact that there's no headgear there to protect you. I think neither of them have been tested. So I think like they said in the press conference, that first round will be very like tentative and edgy, and you'll get hit first, and you might be a bit more apprehensive to throw, because if you throw, you know you're going to hit back. So just getting past that mental barrier and that fear of you get hit back. And I guess who has the best chin out of them? Because you can be a great fighter if you've got a weak chin. Doesn't matter, does it really?
Very good point. Sorry to bring you over. I think we've missed quite a lot, because in the background we've just seen JJ coming. Apparently there was a push from KSI to Logan just after the press conference during the head-to-head. Sorry for missing that. Arthur, what did you make of that?
It always happens, doesn't it? That kind of stuff sells fights. Realistically, you want the back and forth. You want the tension there. That stuff sells fights, and hopefully we get as many PPV buys as possible over the weekend. That stuff sells fights. That charisma, that character. Having character in boxing is great, because, as I said, character sells fights at any sport. Any sport you look at, you name the best players or best idols in that sport, they're all characters. Not people who don't do anything. They're not people who sit there on their laurels. You're very talented, but adding that extra element of a character and charisma to you makes you a much better sports person.
I'm not going to ask you who you want to win, because it's obvious who you want to win and how you see the fight going. But what I want to ask you is, how big is this for YouTube? You're obviously huge in YouTube. Sidemen are huge in YouTube. And it was interesting hearing Eddie Hearn here, who's been promoting for over 10 years, been involved in the sport for over 30 years, saying he's never seen anything like this. Just goes to show how big this event is, not just for boxing, but for YouTube itself as well.
I think it's just big because for us, I think we always try and innovate in our world, and we try and break boundaries, we try and push forward. So like, for example, the Sidemen guys, we've done our own charity matches, we sold out football stadiums to try and almost compete with Soccer Aid and show that we can do it ourselves. We don't need a huge corporation behind us. We did the boxing ourselves. Our own boxing company, or our own events company, sorry, ran the previous boxing events. And obviously that's been taken over by DAZN and Sky Sports and stuff. So I think for us, it's just simply showing that we should be taken seriously. We see ourselves as a new age of entertainment, and we want the whole world to come over to our world and see what it's like and get engrossed in it, which is happening. Like Sky Sports have their own YouTube channel, interviews doing really well on YouTube, the channel's doing so well this week and previous weeks, and that's what we want to happen. We want it to be taken seriously and not just like, oh, that YouTube stuff. Like, it's not like we're just like kids who sit in our rooms and like play games anymore. We're big businesses. We try and be professional as we can, and we want to be taken seriously. I think that's the way it is really for us. So for me, like whatever outcome of the fight is, obviously I want JJ to win. I just hope that they both deliver. I hope both of them turn up and they have a fight where boxing audience look at it and go, you know what, those guys have trained. Those guys have got boxing skill sets there. As long as we see that, I think the whole world will take it seriously. I think the boxing will be, you know what, fair play. But if they go out there and it's just like, looks like two kids fighting, it's not going to be taken seriously. So I think for me, that's the most important point. As long as that happens, then I'll be happy.
Well said, great way to end it. Thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the fight. Top man.